Round 2, we're on the play again. We're going to keep this. Obviously, this hand is not the best, but it's hard to mulligan a hand that's got a 2-drop and a 3-drop in it, especially the Grizzled Angler that beyond the Field Creeper can also flip off of Gargoyle or Scarecrow, which is nice. And it helps with Delirium as well. Ah, Crusader. Mr. Lifelink himself. Alright. Nice thing is I can attack into that. For now. I actually want to mangle that because he doesn't want to trade with my Field Creeper and it keeps him off ramp for next turn. So I'm going to... I could have actually attacked first, but like I said, the chances of... To be honest, I wanted to trade more than he did, so I might as well have... I may have well just offered it, but I think the chances of my opponent wanting to trade there are very slim. I don't see those two in the same deck very often. Not saying it's wrong, I'm just saying it's a little bit unusual. Alright, let's get Angler out there. And the nice thing is, for the rest of the game, we can just keep swinging with Field Creeper. Doesn't matter what he plays. Because then we can flip our Angler, which is quite good. Discarding a land, okay. Getting a little aggressive. Is he going to let us flip our Field Creeper? Yeah. Or flip our Angler, rather. Okay, so I can deal with this now, otherwise he can flip it, so I like that. So I think we just boon this now. We're not going to attack with the Angler. The question is, do I want to flip the Angler? I think I do. It keeps him off of certain removal spells if I flip it now. Oh, I would have gotten it anyway? That's kind of funny. But yeah, I'm not going to attack as well. Keeps the Fury Blade at bay. And now he's got to deal with this 4/5 as well. And yes, the reason I flipped it is because of cards like Fiery Temper. Like, basically he needs like a Lightning Axe now. And even Alchemist Greeting. I mean, I could have protected him from Alchemist Greeting, but Fiery Temper is a common. Granted, it only comes from one pack. But I don't see why not. Like, I would trade a Stitch Mangler. Oh, I see. Okay. He's getting in for 5 here. Opponent means business. Uncaged Fury as well? No? Alright. Follow-up play. Rabid Bite. Oh, that's pretty brutal. I was wondering how he's going to deal 5 damage, and that will do it. The old Discard Madness effect plus Rabid Bite play. Alright, well, thankfully he's out of cards in hand. Unfortunately, all the damage he needed to do has been done. So we're in a little bit of a rough spot now, unfortunately. I mean, we're not out of it, but we're basically both in top deck mode, and my awesome dude was not enough here, and he's building into multiple BA dudes now, so I'm in a bit of trouble, as you might suspect. And missing draws is not going to get us there. So what happens if I attack with Crusader? He's going to be able to flip this. He could block with Conduit and Captive. So I guess I have to keep the Crusader back, much to my chagrin. Ooh, opponent is just out top decking us like crazy here. We're in a pretty rough spot. All right. Well, we're going to Fortune's Favor now. We have double black. No. Fortune's Favor I've found to be a difficult card to make the piles for and take the piles for. Both aspects of Fortune's Favor are tough. Like I said, though, we're in kind of a tough spot here. Opponent is certainly ahead on the board. Well, this is kind of easy. We want to take pile 2 because we can get back Stitchwing at any time. So we get a drag under. So let's drag under the, I guess the conduit. And then he doesn't have a good block on our Crusader. He can block with the Fury Blade and the Reaver, but that's a 2-for-1 I'm willing to take. I could have also brought back my Stitchwing. So if I attack with Crusader, but if I brought back the Stitchwing, he'd flip the Recruiter. I don't know if that matters. So if I swing with Crusader, yeah, I guess we do it. It's enough of a big swing where he's got to do something about it. It's kind of the block I suspected he would make, but I think it's a block I got to be willing for him to make. I still don't think they've fixed the... So you got a Vliden Pack Outcast, so opponent is just rolling in really good late game werewolves at the moment. And we are a wee bit flooded. We can get back our Stitchwing now, which is good, but we're still in some trouble. He didn't play anything, so he's planning on flipping his Captive, which is pretty good. I mean, we've got some bounce effects and stuff, but we got to draw pretty hot here. Oh, so he's not going to flip his Captive. All right. I guess I'm okay with that, too. Well, then... All right. I need to see what he's getting here. That glitch is very annoying. So puts no cards. Let's see what the second one does. Not having the reveal zone. Not having access to that. All right, backwoods survivalist. So Paul's got all sorts of card advantage, but... All right, collective brutality. So we can take care of the Captive now, which is actually kind of nice. The problem is I'm not going to be able to bring back my Stitchwing, but I think we do need to take care of this Captive. So we already know what all the cards are in his hand, so I guess we can bring back the Stitchwing. We just are going to kill this. We know he's got 3 creatures, so we don't need to do the other 2 modes. So we'll just eat this guy. And then we'll pass. And we'll bring back the Stitchwing at the end of our opponent's turn. Yeah, that thing flipping is very difficult to beat. Like, we have outs, but we're going to have to draw him pretty much immediately. And the fact that he's got Delirium is really putting us in a rough shape here. I think we're straight up, like, dead next turn, which is definitely rough, but I don't know what to tell you. We need to rip stuff like right now. Foul Bloods, we do have Delirium. So if I smash for 3, he can flip this next turn and swing for 10, 12 Xaxes lethal, but I can block the Recruiter. We know he's got 1 creature in hand. I just can't comprehend a way I kill him next turn. There might be a way. It's not like if I keep the Stitchwing back. I'm trying to come up with some way. Is there any way for me to grind this out? I have to deal with Vlidenpack Outcast. That's going to be really difficult to deal with. Like, I can double block it if he flips. I'm still going to be taking 5 at least, right? So I go to 7, and I double block that if he flips. He does only kill one of my guys, so it does sort of keep him at bay. So maybe that is the play. Offer the double block with the Foul Blood and the Stitchwing. Okay. We'll see. Because I'm behind. I'm clearly behind on the race, so I think I just have to draw hot and have our opponent not draw hot to potentially win this. All right, so we're gonna double block the Outcast. He can spend all his mana, but he's only gonna kill one of our guys. All right, I'm fine with that too. All right. Pretty close to dead now. I'm trying to think if there's anything I can do better, because I feel as though it's over now, but we basically just lost to Duskwatch Recruiter, which is understandable because the card is just absurdly good. And with the, I'm telling you, with that glitch that they haven't fixed yet, it's super annoying playing against cards like that. You never realize how often you use your, all right, you got Solitary Hunter, how often you use your reveal zone until you don't have a reveal zone. I'm more surprised he's using it twice rather than just get his board even more absurd. Not that he needs it. So he's got Woodland Patrol as well. Okay. So Woodland Patrol, Solitary Hunter in hand. Yeah, I mean, this is just a classic case of losing to Duskwatch Recruiter. So, not a ton I can do about that. Opponent's deck is insane, too. Like, just insane. I'm kind of surprised he didn't attack with the Krowlin Horde guy. Unsubstantiate. Well, not that great, but yeah, opponent just has a really absurd amount of, he has to play double red to really absurd amount of flippy werewolves, so this is going to be a really difficult game to ever grind out. Difficult match to grind out, I should say. The thing is, like I said, though, I actually have good means to deal with those kind of effects, right? Because I have bounce effects, so I can make him waste all his mana and then bounce it. But the problem is, Drag Under doesn't exactly work that way. Basically, I just can't let him ever get Recruiter online or we're just going to lose. I feel like I can beat a lot of things, but I'm just not going to be able to beat that. So I guess we flip the, or get the Conduit out of there, because that thing can just flip. All right, well, bring the Stitchwing back. We still die. All right, I guess we'll make him kill us. I think I only had 3 lands left in the deck. Yeah, we saw 13 between our graveyard and our hand and what we have in play. If only this came back in untapped, right? Jeez, probably be too good, right? All right. So this is going to be a tough match to win. Like I said, opponent's got a ton of good werewolves. We don't have a ton of good ways to deal with them. I think unsubstantiate number 2's got to come in. We need to be able to bounce. What do I take out for it? No idea. No clue. Wharf Infiltrator actually looks good in this match. Although, never mind. It gets blocked by the Captive, doesn't it? All right, let's ditch that again. Screw that card. So we're bringing in a second unsubstantiate. Maybe I need to ditch like a mutation. Even though I really like it. I can't cut a drag under. It's still too important for what we're trying to do. So I could bring in maybe like a Foul Blood, because it trades for a flipped recruiter or trades for like a Conduit of Storms, whereas Cultist does not. All right. And then we do have to make a cut here, and it's not going to be... I think it might have to be a mutation, although I don't want it to be. I think it has to be. All right. I should probably keep 14 creatures, I'm thinking. Yeah. Hand'll do. We're going to have a fairly unexciting Fogwalker, but that's okay. No 2-drop. I guess that's good news. Ooh, Angler's a great draw for us. So we know the Brutality can hit his Rabid Bite at some point, which makes me want to prolong the Collective Brutality play as long as possible. Or delay the Collective Brutality play, I should say. But sometimes you just don't get that luxury. I mean, Boon of Emrakul deals with a lot more things against our opponent than Collective Brutality does. We do have a grip full of some pretty good removal, though, and our opponent's just not making plays, which is pretty excellent for us. So I guess I want to flip my Angler, or do I want to attack with it? It's a good question. Thanks, Alex. No problem. All right, let's attack with Fogwalker. And the Angler, that's kind of tough, actually. I can unsubstantiate his first play, though. I think I'm going to attack. Like, flipping Angler I can do once he's actually got a bit of a board set up. Still no play. All right, well, I can unsubstantiate a Pack Guardian. And I think the beauty of that is that he doesn't even have Pack Guardian. What on earth does he have? So, Outcast. We can Sleep Paralysis it, but let's just unsubstantiate instead. I think he's got Rabid Bite in hand, which makes me want to draw, I guess, no, it's pretty brutal. All right. So we just tempoed our opponent out there, but he had one of the slowest starts, I think, his deck. Like, we're not going to get that lucky, I don't think, in Game 3. That was pretty fortunate for us that our opponent basically did nothing. How good are spontaneous mutations in this matchup? The problem is, like, what am I cutting? I don't have good cuts here. Like, spontaneous mutation on a Vleidenpack Outcast really isn't that good anyway. Eventually, it's just going to flip, and he's going to be able to get past whatever I have in my graveyard, right? So I don't love that. I also just don't have good cuts for it. Like, I can cut Fogwalker because the card's just not very good against my opponent. Doesn't trade with any of his werewolves. Like, I could cut Fogwalker and probably be fine. I don't think this card's going to do much for us in this match. Like, it can attack past stuff, but only for 1 damage. It just does not block well. Same argument kind of goes for Dragoon. Like, a lot of our 2-drops, other than the Creeper, which actually does have good synergy with our Angler, we're going to have problems with his dudes. Like, we just... Our creatures don't pair well against his creatures. If we're not flying over top, we're in trouble. But then again, like, swapping our cheap creatures for, like, cards that don't actually remove things from the board, I don't love that. He also has good stuff like Recruiter, which mutation is terrible against anyway. We may just have to keep it the same. I mean, Dragoon can still potentially get in. He didn't show us any flyers. And Fogwalker, I guess, can still get in and maybe keep something tapped down if you see it in the mid to late game. But I just don't have better cards. I mean, maybe Stallion, because it's like a Hill Giant that can trade for something if I have enough mana, but I'm a little unconvinced. There's Convolute as well, which is okay. I think we're just going to have to try this again. I mean, there's an argument maybe even the Scarecrow's not that good here, but it's probably good enough. All right, we're going to keep this. Yeah, that's not what we wanted to see. All right, let's drag this under. I'd like to find a kill spell. I think we got to play the Niblis here. If I don't start pushing damage, I'm just not going to be able to do anything here. All right, he had the Rabbit Bite. Got to find a removal spell. We do have some in our deck, but we kind of need them. Fortunately, I can't surprise him with the Stormrider Spirit. I think we're just going to drag under again. The problem is he gets to draw more creatures, which seems bad. All right, let's play the Stormrider Spirit. And yes, I'm not surprising so he doesn't flip his Recruiter. If he flips his Recruiter, I think it's actually worse for us because, I don't know, he could make multiple creature plays. Beating a Recruiter and not seeing our removal spells. Like Sleep Paralysis, the thing is we are seeing our removal spells, we're just not seeing the correct ones. And I can't really surprise and eat the Recruiter is another thing because he can just... Oh, that's so upsetting. Especially since we didn't see the Prey Upon either in the other 2 games. Man, opponent's just doing perfect against us right now. Our removal does really legitimately suck against a deck with fight spells. Sorcery Speed, Bounce, and sleep paralysis effects. Like, it's just not good enough. And we're officially out of threats, and our opponent's got a card draw engine that we can't deal with. So, opponent basically, I feel like, got close to beating us right on turn 2, unfortunately. Oh, geez, opponent's just got everything, too. All right. Well, we got to drag this under because he can flip it next turn. Well, maybe if he invests all his mana to flip it, it's better for us. I have no idea. All right. It is pretty much GG's now. I mean, we can still draw out of this, but I just rapidly lost hope there with that draw. We definitely needed to draw better than this to win this game. All right. Well, we can certainly afford to do all the modes. I think we got to deal with the captive by other means. The recruiter is just too annoying. We just are not going to be able to... We're just not going to be able to beat it. Let me guess. No instants or sorceries left in his hand, that's for sure. I haven't even been looking as I should be just because it's such an annoyance. Hanweir Garrison, what does that do? I clicked on it hoping that it would bring a little card image up, but it did not. Hanweir Garrison is the 2/3, that's right, with the... Well, I guess I would get a look anyway. Oh, he did actually have another insane spell. So, Smoldering Werewolf, Hanweir Garrison, Wolfkin Bond. Yep. 2-hour nothing. So I need a Boon of Emrakul immediately. Even if I have that, then I need to top deck for the rest of the game, basically. Non-land cards. All right, we got myrtleized this game. It was, like I said, it was basically over on turn 2, just because we couldn't draw our brutalities or our Boon of Emrakuls in a timely manner. Our opponent's deck was really good, though, so it's not like I'm super upset about it. It's just, it's certainly a match we could have won, but I guess I'm more just disappointed how poorly we drew in game 3 here. Our opponent is just crushing us with draws. All right, I'll see you in round 3.